Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today it is transfer plans. So gonna have a quick look at how I got on in game week 5 and then look forward to game week 6. I've got 4 free transfers and a bit of money in the bank, so there's gonna be big changes this week. But first of all, game week 5. So I talked through on my team selection video how I had a couple of routes. One of them was to get Salah in for Saka, sell Isak for Dominic Calvert-Lewin or Vardy, and that would have locked in wildcard 6. But I was kind of thinking that my team isn't really in a spot where I think I need to wildcard, so I opted against that. I went against Salah, which was quite tough because he was by far the best captaincy option this week before the game week happened, obviously. So I decided to go against that, meaning that I was basically hoping for a grey arrow from this week. I wasn't expecting a massive green arrow or anything. I was hoping for a grey arrow, and as you can see at the top, I got 62 points. My rank went from 1.1 million to 1.2 million, so in a weird way, I'm kind of quite happy with that because I didn't waste 2 free transfers by making the move to Salah, and I'm not playing my wildcard this week, so I've still got that for the future. So I'm kind of happy with how it went. Dean Henderson, 9 points. That came out of nowhere, to be honest. I wasn't expecting a lot from him this week. Never am, really, to be honest. But that went really well. Dunk with 0 is really quite frustrating. That yellow card was annoying, to be honest. Trent, that haul was coming. Everyone could see it who'd watched Liverpool. That haul was always coming. I thought he actually did well to get a clean sheet. Bournemouth were pretty good. I wasn't really expecting a clean sheet in this game because, like I say, Bournemouth have been good this season. And, well, yeah, Bournemouth have been good. Semenyo got that goal disallowed, obviously, which was disappointing for his owners, not for me. But, yeah, the assist from Trent gave me 11 points. And the clean sheet, obviously. Then Pedro Porro with 2 points. Slightly disappointing there. I was hoping for either a clean sheet or an attacking return. It looked like he played a slightly different role, but I still like him going forward, so I'm not too bothered by it. Bruno Fernandes and Eze, 3 points each. The disappointments of the week. Again, they both had chances, to be honest. Eze had 2 big chances, especially the one at the end. He should have done way better with that. Bruno had chances as well. He could have had a lot more, but I kind of like them both going forward. Bruno just plays 90s on pens. They've got good fixtures. Even though the returns haven't come yet, well, he's got 1 return, but mass returns haven't come yet. I still like him. I think he's good. Eze, we learned last week that he's probably not on penalties when Mateta's on the pitch. But Mateta did go off at half-time in game week 5, so there is more hope that Eze has pens for a longer amount of time if Mateta's not going to be on for 90. Saka, 4 points. He went off at half-time, obviously. Wasn't expecting loads from him. Glad I got the assist, although it was for a Gabriel goal, and a lot of people had Gabriel. But, yeah, I wasn't really expecting too much from him, so kind of happy with the 4 points. Rodgers finally gets his points, 2 assists. This is what minutes will do. We know that Rodgers was good for minutes, and he got both of his returns late in the game, so he's great. For 5 million, you can't ask for much more than him. Isak, disappointing. I did watch that Newcastle game, and there was an opportunity where Leno tried to play out from the back. It went to Fabian Schär, and all he needed to do was square it to Isak, for Isak to just tap it in, and and Schär just completely fumbled it, and nightmare, to be honest. Absolute nightmare. But if I'd have done the Salah and DCL or Vardy in for Isak and Saka, then I got 6 points from Saka and Isak. I can't remember how many points Salah actually got, but he only got 1 assist, obviously. So Salah and DCL/Vardy wouldn't have got that many more points than Saka and Isak, especially when you take captaincy into account. I'd have captained Salah instead of Haaland, so the extra points that I got from captain Haaland was great. Again, I wasn't expecting loads in that City-Arsenal game for Haaland, but that was a good return for him, took his goal really well. João Pedro coming on for 1 point is really frustrating given that I had Konza on the bench with 9 points. But I played João Pedro because I thought he would get some minutes, to be fair, and he did. Although he was limping towards the end, it didn't look great for him. So going forward, we'll see if I start him next week. I probably don't need to, given that I'm going to probably move Bergvall up to Mbomo, but we'll talk about that in a bit. So I probably don't need to play João Pedro next week. I want to keep him long term, so yeah. Anyway, 62 points, 1.1 million down to 1.2 million. Feeling pretty good about that, weirdly, but let's move on to my plans because there's a lot to go over. Okay, so this is my team for game week 6 before I've made any transfers. Now, I've got 4 free transfers and I've got 1.5 million in the bank, so moves will be made. But to go through it, I've got Henderson in goal, who has Everton away. Pretty good fixture. As I always say, I'm not expecting much from Henderson or any 4.5 million goalkeeper. But there's a small chance that I move him on this week to Raya, but it's a pretty small chance. So I think I'll probably be keeping Henderson with Everton away. Seems an okay fixture. Trent has Wolves away. Now, there is a pretty high chance that I'm moving Trent on for Gabriel. We'll talk about that in a bit. But if I don't have to move him on, great fixture. Konsa has Ipswich away. That is a great fixture. There's pretty much zero chance that I'm getting rid of him in any of my moves. So Ipswich away, good fixture. Aston Villa defence has been pretty bad this season so far, and I'm probably not expecting loads from him. But it will be interesting to see if he continues to play the right back role that he played this week, because that probably does mean he'll get a bit further forward. I didn't watch the Aston Villa game, but obviously he scored, but that was technically from a corner. So that doesn't really show his attacking intent in normal play. But presumably him at right back means he can get a little bit further forward, which is kind of nice, unless it's a situation where Dean is just pushing on the left side and Konza's dropping into a back three. Like I said, I didn't watch the game, so any Aston Villa fans, do let me know. But either way, even if he's playing just as a centre-back, fine fixture. Then I've got Pedro Porro, who has Man United away. Not the best fixture. I don't think Man United attack is bad by any means. I've also got Robinson on the bench, who has Nottingham Forest away. So it's quite tight between one of those as to which one I play. But there's a chance I sell Robinson instead of Trent, which we'll go through in a minute. But yeah, the back three isn't too bad. Then we've got Saka with Leicester at home. Now, he did go off against Man City. Whether that was an injury, whether that was injury related or not, I'm not sure. If he's fine, obviously Arsenal play midweek against Bolton, I believe, in the Cup. I wouldn't expect Saka to play, so we probably won't find out if he's fine based on minutes in that game. But we probably will know a bit more by the time the deadline comes. I'm very unlikely to sell him. I am very tempted to captain him. It's between him and Haaland probably for captaincy this week. Leicester at home is a very, very good fixture. So could be a captaincy option. I'll do my captaincy video later in the week. Stay tuned for that. But yeah, then we have Eze with Everton away. Again, very good fixture. Everton's defence has been useless this season. Yes, Branthwaite is probably back soon. I don't know if he'll be back for this game. That will strengthen their defence considerably, to be honest. But even so, I like Eze for this game. I'll probably be keeping Eze. There's a small chance I sell him for Mbomo, but the more likely scenario is that I sell Bergvall for Mbomo. But yeah, Eze is there if I don't sell him. Good fixture. Bruno Fernandes, Tottenham at home. Again, that is a pretty good fixture attacking wise. Even though the Spurs defence wasn't bad this week, obviously they conceded that early goal to Mbomo, but apart from that they didn't concede too many chances. But I'm fine with keeping Bruno for now. Again, there's a chance I sell him for Mbomo, but more likely that I keep him, to be honest. Then I have Rodgers, who plays Ipswich away. Again, great fixture, same as Konza. I am happy with how he's doing, there's pretty much no chance I sell him. Again, he could go out for Mbomo instead of one of the others, but there's a very, very high chance that I just keep him. Then we've got Haaland, Newcastle away. He could score in any given game. That fixture, last season, on paper, that fixture wouldn't be great. This season, Newcastle have been awful, so there is a strong chance I captain Haaland this week. Then we have Isak with Man City at home. Now, Isak is one I can confidently say, or pretty confidently say, will be leaving my team this week. I don't know who will be replacing him yet. The candidates are Solanke, Havertz, and a cheaper forward like Calvert-Lewin, Vardy, Wood. But there is a very high chance he'll be leaving my team this week. Then I have João Pedro with Chelsea away. After I've made all my moves, there's a very high chance that I'll be benching João Pedro, so I probably won't need him. Like I mentioned earlier, he was limping at the end of the game, so yeah, hopefully I don't need him, because it might be another situation where we're waiting on press conferences and we get vague wording on it, and I can't be bothered with that. So hopefully I won't need him this week. But let's get on to my transfer kind of options now. Okay, so as I mentioned before, I have 4 free transfers. I have 1.5 million in the bank. Now, on Fantasy Football Hub, there's a transfer planner, as you can see on screen. So if you want to check that out, look at the link in the description to this video. There is currently 50% off if you use that link. So check it out. They've got all sorts of stuff. If you're on Wildcard, which I'll talk about in a Wildcard video soon, later in the week at some point, then you can play around, see what the AI Wildcard team is. You can get a percentage rating for your team, do all that good stuff. But yeah, this transfer planner, what I've done is my most likely transfers are Isak to Havertz. Havertz looks kind of good now. There's a chance that with Odegaard out, he'll be playing in midfield instead of up front. But obviously Trossard was sent off against Man City. So that might mean that we see Havertz up front more. Maybe not. Maybe we'll just see Gabriel Jesus. That's probably more likely scenario. But yeah, Havertz, even in midfield, he's playing very high up there with the other forward, whether that be Trossard or Jesus. So Havertz is kind of good regardless for these next 2 fixtures, Leicester at home and Southampton at home. So anyway, the moves are Isak to Havertz, Bergvall to Mbomo, and Trent to Gabriel. So as you can see on screen, that leaves my team like that. João Pedro is first sub, which is kind of handy this week because, like I say, he was limping. Gabriel, obviously I don't really like selling Trent because Trent against Wolves is a very good fixture. It's not as good as Leicester at home for Arsenal, so I don't necessarily hate selling him. I want Mbomo in this week regardless. The other options I have are doing all of the exact same moves except getting Solanke in instead of Havertz. The thing is with Havertz, I'd likely be selling him in 2 or 3 weeks anyway, probably for Solanke. So it's kind of a short-term move to get triple Arsenal. So I could think a bit longer term and just get Solanke now. Although with a wildcard in hand, I don't mind taking some of these shorter moves, I think. So I do prefer Havertz. This currently has 0.1 million spare in the bank. So I might need to move early on this, which is going to be a bit frustrating because I think Isak is close to going down in price and Gabriel is close to going up in price. That goal against Man City won't have helped that. People will be buying Gabriel. So I think I might have to move early on these moves, annoyingly. But yeah, it has 0.1 million in the bank. Obviously, if I went for Solanke instead of Havertz, I have a lot more wiggle room. I wouldn't need to go early, which is kind of quite a big benefit, really. The other things that I could be looking at are, if I wanted to keep Trent, I've got a few options. Instead of getting Havertz or Solanke, I could do Isak down to a cheaper forward, like a Welbeck, like a Calvert-Lewin. And then that means I can do Robinson up to Gabriel and keep Trent. The other option, if I wanted to keep Trent, would be to still get Havertz or Solanke, but instead of doing Bergvall to Mbomo, I could do another midfielder. to Mboma, whether that be Eze or Bruno Fernandes. I could move both of those to Mboma. Then I could also, again, do Robinson up to Gabriel, and that means I could keep Trent. So I've got a few things to think about. I might have to move tonight on these moves, annoyingly, so I probably do have to work it out now. I'm recording this on Sunday evening, by the way. So by the time you watch this, I may have even made some moves. But yeah, that is my thoughts. I definitely want to get in Gabriel. I definitely want to get in Mboma. And I need to sell someone to do that. And Isak seems the obvious move. It's just which striker I get. And it's which defender I sell, whether that be Trent or Robinson. But yeah, they're my moves. Lots to think about. I will be doing a team selection video at the end of the week where you can see what moves I've made, or if I haven't made any, then you can see what I'm thinking about later in the week. I'll do a captaincy model video as well, so do stay tuned to check that out. And for those of you on Wildcard, I will do a Wildcard draft video as well. So yeah, if you want to check out any of that, then make sure you subscribe, make sure you like this video, and I'll see you in the next one.